our agendas are going to be thrown for a loop. You might have conversations that go awry. This can be really scattered energy because both of these are mutable signs. So you get easily distracted, or this is gossipy energy. And then people find out that you're gossiping about them and they might confront you with all that Mars energy coming in. Welcome to the Story of Spirit podcast, where practical spirituality meets real life. Hi, I'm your host, She Tells Story. I'm a psychic medium, grief support counselor, professional astrologer, and a human design reader, and of course, a law of attraction master coach. With my unique blend of spiritual and practical tools, I am here to help you align with your soul-led purpose and ignite a life that sets your soul on fire. In this podcast, we are going to explore the principles of energy, astrology, spirituality, and psychology to help you heal your grief and create an aligned life and business from the inside out. Whether you are looking to deepen your intuition, understand your cosmic design, or transform your business, this podcast is for you. Join me each week for insightful discussions, practical tips, and inspiring stories that will guide you on your journey to living your very best life. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at She Tells Story or wherever you listen to this podcast. Let's dive in and start this transformative journey together. Welcome to the Story of Spirit podcast. Welcome to the Astro Forecast for the week of October 27th through to November 2nd. This is an interesting time. Spirit sort of showed me like there's a cliff and we're kind of about to go over it. And take heart, that's not, doesn't mean anything bad. It does mean that there is going to be some intense energy coming up here. And if you've been doing the work, if you've been doing the healing, if you have your tools and strategies, this is going to be the time that like put the pedal to the metal. You're really going to be tested now with a lot of these old life lessons coming back now, because the energy that we're moving into, especially November, is one of how much did you learn over the last few years? How much did you learn? And what's kind of going to be the impact maker or the energy maker for the rest of this year is that these two outer planets, Neptune and Uranus, are sitting at 29 degrees and 0 degrees of signs. Those are critical degrees. They're anaretic degrees, we call them in astrology, but really they're test points. How much did you learn? What does it feel like to be in the hardest parts of the sign? And how is that going for you? We're sort of seeing a little bit of it now. I was just having this conversation with a girlfriend where it feels like I'm moving through molasses. Like I know what I want to do, but I can't do it. We have a list long of things that we need to do in our household, and we are not getting through them. There is so much resistance. Things aren't open. They can't find the thing. We don't get in right away. The debit machines are down. Somebody doesn't feel well. Like, it is unbelievable how much is in the way of all the things that we want to do or know that we have to do, but it is not working out. And I like to invite during these moments, timing is not up to you. The universe has the right timing for things. So we often feel like we want to move forward on this. I've got a kid that wants to take his driver's license, another one has learner's license, and things just continue to happen. You think it'd be so easy, just go, but it doesn't work out that way. Someone doesn't feel good, then the office is closed, and then the debit machines are like, it's unbelievable. So when you are feeling this in your life, it's time to take a beat. It's time to just step back and go, okay, what is this actually bringing in for me? Are any of these things really important that we do them absolutely right now? No. There's a few things, obviously, timelines and deadlines to do things, but things that aren't so imminent or we are making them imminent, pay attention to that, right? What if I just let go of this expectation of doing this thing right now? When could it be done? What would be an optimal time? Because it does get done, right? It does get done. Obviously, taxes in a different category than this, but obviously not, if it's your year-end tax season, good luck to you, but you will get it done. So we start out this week on Monday, October 27th, in a first quarter phase of the moon in Capricorn. This Capricorn moon is going to be a godsend this week. This energy of this Capricorn is going to help us to step into mastery, to get organized, to understand what has to be done and prioritized. This is going to help us this week because on Tuesday, October 28th, Mercury is going to trine Jupiter. And this is a very helpful aspect. It boosts confidence, courage, and strategic action. The energy aligns with ambition and emotional insight. This is helpful. This is helpful energy. We're going to get things done. Pursue goals with both intensity and heart. Opportunities for leadership, negotiation, and creative projects flow easily. Thank goodness. We need one of these days to help us move through our to-do list and take some bold action, especially as we round out this month. And then Wednesday, October 29th, we also have some helpful energy, lots of trines this week. Mercury trine to Neptune. But these two planets are at the 29-degree mark. Neptune is retrograde in Pisces at the 29th degree of Pisces, and Mercury is in Scorpio at 29 degrees of Scorpio. So this energy is mental clarity meets intuition, allowing insights and creative ideas and spiritual understanding to flow. But the 29-degree marks bring up some powerful things. So the 29 degree of Pisces is escapism. It is trying to numb out, not paying attention to our intuition and our emotions that are coming forward, and trying to either low level cope, in terms of drugs, addiction, shopping, pornography, to just kind of numb what is coming up from our intuition. And then Scorpio 29 degrees for Mercury, Mercury is the mind, is a very intense degree of like digging deep through the trauma of like, what have you learned? In the 29 degree of Scorpio is isolationism, is shutting down, is emotional disconnect, is again not being in community, to be in of yourself. So this energy could be, in its highest form, this is intellectual insight meeting deep emotional connection, allowing you to move old traumas out of the way or shift old patterns into new ways of being. This is imaginative problem solving. This could be really creative guidance and creativity coming forward today. Dreams and intuitions can hold key messages. And the key is to not overanalyze and let your inspiration guide you. So this can feel confusing, daydreamy. You don't want to follow through. Neptune at 29 degrees of Pisces diffuses energy. It is, you just want to be in the fog of excitement and possibility and what could be. This is not energy that actually kind of moves the needle. It's very diffusing energy. So you might feel really tired on this day. If you feel tired, have a nap, and, meet any of those fears that you have about what it means to have a nap and what it means to have rest, right? Those are those old patterns coming up. So if you allow yourself to meet your old patterns on this day, you could break through to higher echelons of service, success, and prosperity. Right? This is a great day for that. So tune into your intuition, let creative ideas flow forward, spiritual guidance. You might have great dreams on this day as well. Pay attention to that. Also on Wednesday, we have Mars trine to Saturn because Saturn and Neptune are kind of working together. So what happens to one will happen to the other. And we're going to see this kind of play out throughout the month. So this is a great energy for getting things done as well. Focused energy, patience, persistence combined with powerful results. So we have this kind of diffusing energy where you're kind of feeling sort of tired, or maybe you're feeling like you don't want to do some of these things. But then there's the energy coming in from Mars through Scorpio of like getting deep into like scrubbing the research, getting into like intimate situations, want to get to the heart of the matter. Like this is not energy for surface conversations or to-do lists that have nothing to do with really moving the needle forward in your life. So you just might notice that the things that, really need your energy is going to, I'm going to say, either like come to the surface of your to-do list or become very blatant to you why you didn't do them, and now you're going to have to get on it and get going on it, because Saturn is about responsibility. So, this energy is about a disciplined effort and long term planning. Emotional resilience helps navigate challenges without burnout. So, taking that rest, but also knowing when to work, when to move forward. So, this energy this week is going to really require you to be intentional and notice where you want to numb out, where you want to just scroll social media versus actually cleaning the toilet kind of thing. I know no one wants to clean the toilet, but where are you numbing yourself or distracting yourself away from the things that you actually have to do? Also, on Wednesday, we've got a few things happening on Wednesday. Mercury moves into Sagittarius. So, this energy is more buoyant, it's more optimistic, it's more light, right? But as it moves into Sagittarius, it's going to oppose Uranus. And so that's going to bring in another challenge. But Mercury in Sagittarius, the thinking shifts from that deep, trauma, patterns, research, why is this happening, into big picture, into ideas, optimism, possibility, exploration. Travel, philosophy, and expansive learning are highlighted during the time of Mercury in Sagittarius. But when it's at the 0 degree mark of Sagittarius, which is going to be for this next 2 days, this is a time when, again, you might want to escape or you're trying to find ideas and optimism in the darkness. You're trying to make light of everything that you've gone through. So a really great practice to use on Wednesday and Thursday of this week is a gratitude practice. In manifestation, one of the processes we had to take up in law of attraction is called rampage of appreciation. And it is to count as many blessings as you can. Start with 5, go to 10, go to 15, go to 20 if you can. Sometimes it's hard to find gratitude, especially when you're in the depths of despair. And if you can find 1, you can find 5, you might be finding 10. By the time you get to 20 or 100, you will notice your energy will have changed so much. And you can find 100 things to be thankful for in your life. Indoor plumbing, hello, that's on my list, right? Electricity, yes. Comforts, right? Convenience, oh my God, my pillow, my bed, right? That I have socks, that I have feet, I'm able bodied. Like, there's so much to be grateful for. You're alive, you're breathing. That is something to be grateful for as well. So find the gratitude this week and start to amplify your blessings into the world. And if you can't get there, it's okay. It's okay. No one needs to toxic positivity over the hard things that you're going through. But acknowledge them, but don't let them override everything else in your life, right? We go through hardships in life, but we are not hardship, right? You experience these things, but you are not them. You get to define who you are. So, Sagittarius, avoid rushing to conclusions. Curiosity drives communication. New perspectives become accessible to you. This is great energy for lifting this heaviness that Scorpio can bring. Embrace a sense of adventure in thought and broaden your horizons through study, conversation, exploration. Curiosity is your friend when Mercury is in Sagittarius, but curiosity is always your friend, right? It diffuses judgment. I wonder why this is. I wonder why it's so hard for me to get anything done today. What could possibly be the opposite of that? That everything is happening for me, that the right time is always presenting. All right, this is not supposed to happen today. Okay. And then I'm always so excited to see when it is the right time for it. What happens during that time? I just had a client that had to reschedule because there was a schedule mix up, and she is a brilliant, brilliant woman, mixed up her schedule and double booked herself. And I was like, no problem. I'm always open for a reschedule because I'm excited to see what happens, because it has to happen before our next session, right? Everything happens on divine timing. And especially my sessions, it always happens on divine timing. And sure enough, something really poignant happened the day before our session that would not have happened had we kept our original date. And it was so good. It was exactly what was needed to then open up a huge pattern that she had been experiencing in her life. You can't make that stuff up. It was exactly perfect. So on Wednesday, October 29th, as well, man, we are going to be so done with Wednesday as we get through this, is Mercury is now opposite to Uranus. And this is at the 0 degree mark. So this axis of Sagittarius and Gemini is about information, communication, and thought processing. So Mercury is at home in Gemini, but it's sitting in the opposite sign of Sagittarius, which tends to be considered a detriment. It is not a place where it loves to be because it's in the opposite sign of its home sign. And so this is, but I like to think, I mean, because Sagittarius is an uplifting, it's a positive sign. It's a sign that we look kind of we are, it rules the ninth house, which is a literary house. It's a house of speaking and higher functioning of the brain, that it's not a bad thing. And so when we have these two sitting opposite each other, though, it's kind of chaos, right? Our agendas are going to be thrown for a loop. You might have conversations that go awry. This can be really scattered energy because both of these are mutable signs. So you get easily distracted, or this is gossipy energy. And then people find out that you're gossiping about them and they might confront you with all that Mars energy coming in. So unexpected news, revelations, and surprises may challenge your plans. Today is stay loose, y'all. Stay loose. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. All right. Easy agendas. Things are going to change. What is the benefit of the change? Something good is coming in. Mental restlessness. Ooh, I have been feeling this. This is happening in my own chart. Innovative ideas are heightened. So this is a really great opportunity for creativity, genius energy coming forward. Something that you would never have thought about always all of a sudden just drops in out of the blue. Flexibility, adaptability are essential, and breakthroughs may arrive in unconventional ways. And spirit is just dropping in. Unexpected ways don't often feel like they're good. Like all of a sudden something happens and you're like, oh my God, you got to drop everything, go and look after an emergency. And while you're at the emergency, you get an aha and you get a download to then fix the problem that you're doing. Like the inspiration is going to come in an unexpected way. So everything's going to work out. I don't want anyone to feel alarmed. It's just going to be a day where things aren't going to go according to plan. And really, you're not in control. So this day is going to test your control tendencies and just be innovative, embrace new ideas, and rethink old patterns. Notice where anxiety, impulsive decisions, and scattered focus comes up today, because that is going to derail you, or noticing why. Why is that happening right now? How can you refocus? So today will be a really great day, Wednesday, to meditate, to start off your day with intention, with grounded focus, and let yourself be mutable, like the willow tree, just flowing with whatever is shifting into your world today. On Thursday, October 30th, Mercury is sextile to Pluto. This is a deep thinking, research driven aspect. Transformative conversations are favored. This aspect supports uncovering hidden truths and strategic planning. Mental clarity combines with intuition for insight and problem solving. Use this time to refine ideas, connect with impactful people, or to fact find, to look up information. Really be careful. This can be obsessive thinking and trying to control outcomes. And I just got, also trying to control your connections and your friends. Mercury rules our friends and our closest connections. So, our community, right? People who are in our community, in our groups and associations. So think about that in terms of, what outcomes are you trying to push to that other people are resisting? Why are they resisting? Why are you trying to push? What is happening here? I see this a lot with like Christmas planning, birthdays, Thanksgiving, right? We need to do it this way, and people are like, I don't want to do it that way. And I'm like, why not? Or why? Or let's have a conversation about that. Don't try to just control everybody all the time. This week is going to show you don't have control over anything. Friday, October 31st is Halloween for those of you who celebrate. Halloween is such a wonderful time of play. And, if you think back to the purpose of it, is really to meet our fears and not be scared of it. Also, the kind of celebrating those that may have passed, or people who just want to dress up and go have a party, all of those pieces of it. The moon is going to be in Pisces this day, as well as on the 1st. So this moon in Pisces is going to make us very sensitive to criticism. So if you have a costume and someone says something to you that hurts your heart, just be like, that's fine. That's their opinion. It has nothing to do with you. And if you're looking at someone's costume that looks ghetto as hell, say, nice costume. Tell me about your costume. be curious as opposed to being judgy, because the energy of this week is very triggery. And with this sensitive moon, you could, really upset someone's feelings. Who cares? It's Halloween. Just be nice. Just be nice. Give some candy, smile. Everyone looks fantastic, and move on, right? You don't have to be the person policing saying you're too old to get candy. That's how you get your house egged, y'all. So, not to say that I egged any houses. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. All right. On Sunday, November 2nd, we have daylight saving time. If you are in one of the places that unfortunately has to observe this horrible timing, if you have kids, it is something that I have always struggled with, and I have a very sensitive nervous system. So even that hour I feel it. Like, I used to be in corporate where I'd have to fly to Toronto, and I lived in Vancouver, and that time change would kill me. I could feel it. So if you're someone who's sensitive to time change, I'm sending you so much love. Hopefully one day we do away with this. Bless the farmers. But on this day, we have in the morning, the moon will be conjunct Neptune. It just for a certain time, like very, very short, like 2.5, 3, 4 hours kind of thing in the morning. This is going to make us extremely sensitive, extremely psychic, but also very sensitive to the time change. So this is a very unfortunate combination of things because there's so much sensitivity. We don't have a lot of kind of groundedness during this time change, and we know time changes are just not great for our physiology, right? We just don't get the sleep, and it's a fallback, so we lose an hour, I believe, right? And 6, or do we gain an hour? Who freaking knows? But it's a fallback. So either which way, just be super kind to yourself on Sunday. Probably best to not plan anything. There would always be a staff meeting when I worked in corporate on Sunday in restaurants and stuff, which would just always like blew my mind why we would do that to ourselves. But on this day, and this is going to be an aspect that's going to happen, that's going to we're going to feel it on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And of course, having Halloween on Friday, there's probably a lot of parties happening on Saturday. And then, Monday is going to be, we're going to be back to work and into November. And this Sunday aspect is Venus square to Jupiter. Venus is what we love and value: beauty, aesthetics, money. It's our relationships. And Jupiter is expansion, optimism, and good luck. So when they're square to each other, we often can feel like we can take on anything. We are over optimistic, we overextend ourselves, over committing, over indulging, over giving, over idealizing. Emotional boundaries are challenging to negotiate, right? This energy is connection versus authenticity. We really deeply want to connect with people, so we often say yes to things that we don't want to do, right? And authenticity means I don't want to do that. I really love you, but the next time something comes up, maybe I'll participate in that. Let me know. Or I'm sorry, as an empath, no is not a complete sentence. I have a really hard time saying no, just no. I can feel their disappointment. I can feel maybe anger or sadness, and it might not even be about me. That's okay. But I, as an empath, can't just say no. So I'll say, no, I'm sorry, I'm not able to do that this month, or I'm actually quite busy this month, or my schedule doesn't allow for that. And then I'll, if I do want to see them again, I'll suggest another date. Or if I don't schedule, maybe if I'm truly busy, I might not know what my schedule is going to be like, and I won't suggest a date. But you can say no kindly, really just say no kindly. This is going to be a date that's going to test you. How good are your boundaries? Generosity is one thing that we really want to extend on this day, and just make sure it's not at the challenge or at the cost of yourself. That's the word I was looking for, cost. So be careful for overspending as well. Balance giving with receiving, and be realistic in relationships and spending, and mindful of indulgence. This is very indulgent energy. And because it's Sunday, it's going to spill into Saturday, which is where the parties could be as well. So you might have a wicked hangover that even bleeds into Monday. So wishing you groundedness, and I'm going to say, on Sunday, to be very mindful of emotional yeses and emotional nos. We really want to, 50% of the world are emotional authority in human design. So that means we often think that an excited yes is supposed to be a yes. And if you have an emotional authority in human design, it actually means no. It means I cannot give you an answer in this moment because I don't have the neutral wave. The wave is too high in my emotions. So if your waves are too high or too low, you shouldn't be saying no in a low point and you shouldn't be saying yes in a high point, or vice versa. You actually need a neutral yes or neutral no, right? This doesn't feel aligned. Let me get back to you. Because in this moment, if I feel super excited about something, I could overspend, overindulge, overextend myself. That happens all the time until I learned human design and I stopped doing that. So if you're an emotional authority, you don't know what that means. If you often say yes because you're a hell yes and everything's a hell yes, because I've Sagittarius moon, everything is a hell yes, then you're not actually listening to your true authority. You're saying yes in the emotional high wave, and you need to say yes or no in a neutral place emotionally, right? You might do the pros and cons, you might let it sit for a while. I'll park it on a list, and then I'll say yes or no to that. I'll really let it contemplate, and then I'll say the yes or no mindfully, not emotionally. You'll really need that advice on Sunday, actually Saturday, Sunday, Monday. All right. So, wishing you a grounded, neutral, introspective week ahead. I will see you next week. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Story of Spirit podcast. I hope you have found inspiration, support, and practical insights to help you align with your soul-led purpose and live a life that sets your soul on fire. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, and share it with a friend. Your support helps us to reach more listeners and continues to provide valuable content. I sincerely appreciate every share, and I know it is how most people find me. It is because caring people like you have shared me with them at the right and perfect time. For more resources, insights, and to connect with our community, please visit us at www.shetellstory.com and follow us on Instagram at shetellstory. Remember, your journey to a more aligned and vibrant life is just the beginning, and I am here to support you every step of the way. Until next time, stay aligned, stay inspired, and keep shining your beautiful light. This is She Tells Story, signing off from the Story of Spirit podcast. Here's the legalese that's required by our lawyers. This podcast and the YouTube channel represents the opinions of She Tells Story and her guests to the show. The content should not be taken as medical, psychological, or financial advice. This series is informational and entertainment purposes only. Because each person is so unique, please consult your healthcare professional, your mental health dream team, your financial advisor, or anyone else that's an expert in the field in where you are thinking of making big choices in your life.